Hey, what's up, everyone? It's David with Social Expression, and I'm really pleased today to have a very special guest, Brent Smith. He is a dating and lifestyle coach for men, and today we're going to get into the mindset of this guy. He's a master at creating success socially, dating, in life in general, and I think you're in for a real treat. So, hey, welcome, Brent.
Hey, David, thanks for having me. What's happening?
Dude, Saturday, beautiful day.
hmm
After this, I'm gonna go enjoy myself. Not that I'm not enjoying myself now, but
No, in a different way.
in a different way. Exactly, it's all enjoyment, and that's what I love about what you teach, how you live. Really, I even got a sense of that as we jumped on. You're like, I'm unattached. I'm unattached, and there's so much value in that. And so, first off, I just like to start with kind of if you can sum up your story, your journey, maybe the struggles that you went through that I know you've spoken of before in order to get where you are today and to doing what you're doing, not only living the way you do, but in helping people.
How much time do you have? It's a long story. The nickel tour is I've been doing this for a long time. I mean, obviously, I've been on the journey for a long time.
Yeah.
And then maybe teaching for the past, or imparting my experiences for the past maybe, I don't know, 10 or 15 years. Before that, I was just doing it with friends. But you know what? The bottom line here is that I had all the same issues and still have some of them that normal people have, that everyone else has. So I'm not really any different. I just really was obsessed with finding the proper solutions, and I was willing to take action, take a lot of chances, do things the wrong way over and over and over and over again, use all my failures to learn from all my failures and build something that works for me. So, anyone who's, watching or listening, I mean, I had all the same, right? Anxiety, low self-worth, lack of confidence, all the same things that everybody struggles with: procrastination, being unmotivated, feeling stuck, right? And not getting what you want, and all those things. And so it's been a really fun, wild journey along the way, and it touches on every part of life. As you mentioned, there's the dating and relationship thing, there's the social life, and there's just everyday relationships in every part of your life. And the most important relationship, which is the relationship with yourself, which we're not really taught to master. It's always, we have to master it with people outside of us, because supposedly that's where all of the happiness and fulfillment comes from, and everything else that we need so badly, so desperately, only comes from outside. It could never come from inside. So, that's kind of the deal.
Yeah, that's the nickel tour you say. I love it, man. Inspiring, and just I think that's so key. And I want everyone listening to hear that about that relationship with yourself. And it always seems like it's something out there, and there's even a question if there really isn't out there. But we don't have to go down that rabbit hole, or we could. Yeah. I sometimes like to, but and from watching your videos over the years, a friend introduced me to your stuff a while ago, and your approach has been so different, because it really is so much about the mind and what you believe. And even though you advise do this, do that, you still really stress the mindset part, the mind piece, and how you feel about yourself and your self-worth and stuff, which is absolutely critical in my experience and my journey as well, and overcoming those blocks and whatnot. Were there any people that influenced you a lot on that journey, or teachings or books or anything that really helped you out along the way to kind of break through some of these things?
Well, I learned from all different areas. I'm inspired by a lot of different things, and it's not just something that's directly related generally. However, and I'm looking over here at my bookshelf of all kinds of inspiration that I've had over the years. And I would say that, if you're really wanting to go down this path of at least opening your mind to different perspectives and different ways of dealing with, bettering your life and taking responsibility and pushing through your resistance and going to the next level and so on. There certainly are a lot of books. I would say the people that I studied a lot were Louise Hay, Dr. Wayne Dyer, Of course, Tony Robbins is great. Who else? Sedona Method is a great book. Gosh, there's just so many. I would say Werner Erhard was great. The guy who started EST, which became landmark for him, was great. I'll tell you another two people here. Eckhart Tolle. Okay, if you're ready for it, because it's out there. If you're not ready for it, it might not make sense at first. And then the other one is A Course in Miracles, which is quoted by a lot of the top people in self-development. That's another. It's a very thick book and not an easy read, but boy, lots of stuff in there. So, I would say to anyone, just, start with a couple of those people and you'll find the rest of the people by kind of delving into it. You'll see other people that talk about all the same things, liking yourself, pushing through, being a better person, attracting the right people into your life for whatever it is that you're looking for, and so on. So there's a lot of those people were really big influences for me, and there are many others, but those are Robert Cialdini is a great author. Tony Schwartz is great, and a lot of people have heard of these people, so you've heard them for a reason. And a lot of the top people will talk about these people because they are right on. There's something to be learned from every one of these people. Even if you don't subscribe to absolutely everything, you take pieces that work for you from each one of these things. And that's really what I've done over the years. What I talk about is based on my personal experience, of course, talking to tens of thousands of people all over the world as I travel about every subject, whether it be relationships, dating, life, success, money, whatever, and then coaching and teaching for a long time and working with people in groups and one-on-one and so on. And as I go through this, I also educate myself. I do a lot of reading, a lot of watching of videos, and just to find that next inspiration or that better way of explaining what it is that I'm getting across to people.
I love that, man. It's like the Bruce Lee method. Take what you go and discard the rest, but what I hear is keep evolving and growing, and that this is a continual journey for you.
You have to. If you don't keep evolving and going to the next level, the universe has a way of doing that for you. So it will pull the rug out from under you if you're staying at a level too long, right? Like even in your business too, it'll just remove all the money. Like if you haven't gone and innovated, it'll say, okay, well fine, we'll just remove all the money. And then you'll have to innovate, or else you won't make any more. You won't be able to do anything. So, yeah, you have to keep evolving, And that's the other thing. I think you've touched on something really great. I will say that that is a huge, huge point that I impart to people is keep evolving. So what you were like 5 years ago shouldn't be what you're like right now. You should be moving forward, moving to the next level, innovating. Doesn't mean that you maybe lose your old belief system if it was working and, lose it altogether, but just keep going forward, keep going to the next level of that.
Yeah, I so agree, man. I love how you said that it'll pull the rug from under you. We actually had a slight discussion about that before in a way with business, where we were talking about that a little bit, that something can just go away all of a sudden. It's like, oh shit, I guess that's a message. But
that was the message we were talking about, was how that if you're unattached to everything, your life will be pretty cool, because people just aren't. Most people, we talk about it in the sense of people being attached to their failure, and then they beat themselves up over, oh man, I failed at this, whatever this thing was, whether it's a relationship or business, and then they beat themselves up, rather than realizing that you just let go of all that. And the next level of that is letting go of all your success that you've built too. That's the next level of that.
Yeah, man.
Which is very hard for someone who's worked very hard for their money or their fame or their followers or whatever, to let go of all that. Almost impossible for most people to do, but the truly powerful people do that.
Yeah, it's a real stepping out of the ego type of thing, which applies to anything, even social, especially shyness, social anxiety. Like, can be a safety. It's like what's known versus what's unknown, and what's unknown is getting out of the shell or getting beyond the negative thoughts of social anxiety, or letting go of the followers because I don't know what's going to happen. It's like,
that's my identity. I worked so hard for that. I can't possibly let it go, right? It's like that. And we have all that anxiety, because Well, when we talk about anxiety, and I talk about it in a lot of different senses with people, a lot of different areas, but really anxiety is really just caused by wanting to get something. That's where it's all caused, right? Wanting to get something, being afraid you're not going to get it, being angry if you don't get it, and then what does it mean about you if you don't have it, if you don't have what it is that you want? So there's all this stuff, that's what causes anxiety. You know, that if you think about it, you're only anxious about not getting something that you want, whether it's approval or money or dates or whatever, popularity.
Yeah. And I recently heard something. There was a teacher that I found that just has blown me away in the last 2 weeks, like totally upgraded my life, my understanding, everything. And he says it's a lot of teachings will say desire is the problem for what causes pain. He said that's totally incorrect. What actually causes, because desire, like what we really want and going for it is a beautiful thing, but what gets in the way is the idea that there's any lack at all or that we won't be supported. And that's so resonated with me, because that's something that I've struggled with, is coming to a place of enjoyment and peace. And then, but what if I want this? And going, no, I can't want that, this desire thing. And once I saw that actually life wants me to fully manifest my desire and like go for it and evolve, like that's what life is. And that the idea of lack, which we get conditioned with, that you can't have that or you can't have too much, or that you got to put a lid on it, is just totally a made up belief.
Mm-hmm.
And just that I'm just resonating here with what you're saying on that. And especially
there's nothing wrong. What you deserve to have the full abundance of life has to offer. Everyone does. Yeah. So the distinction here, and I like where you're going with that. That's great. And whoever was talking to you about that, they're on track, definitely. It's that most people spend, here's the deal. Most people spend all their time in want and never have. Yeah. That's when you start to feel the other way, right? So if there's nothing wrong with stating what you want, but in the next moment, you should tell yourself you already have it. At that point, you move from wanting to having, because wanting equates with lack.
Right.
And if you continue, I want, you're just really saying, I lack, and you're repeating it over and over again. And of course, you become whatever your story is. And that's the identity you create. So if you keep saying, I have, even if you don't have the physical evidence of the I have, which is a big challenge for a lot of people, but if you push through, you'll realize the other side is having that. You should have whatever you want, But if the people stay in the wanting, and they are afraid of desire, like you said, sometimes there's nothing wrong with that. Just move from desire and wanting. Okay, make a statement. Okay, that right there, that's for me. That thing right there, that's for me. Okay, now let's go to, right? You're right. What do I need to do to make having that inevitable? Every day, what do I got to do 7 days a week for 30 minutes a day or an hour a day? Or what do I have to do in my head? What do I have to change in here in order to start feeling what it's like to have that? Really powerful stuff.
Yeah, that is powerful. And to me, it's like the so let it be done. It's like, I want it, now just let it be done. Like, it's already done. I already have it. And for me, it's taken me a while, like, to really even start to get that, because it intellectually doesn't make sense, but things happen very quickly, right, when you apply this. And so if there's someone out there listening going, well, yeah, but it doesn't make sense, like, and because I'm typically the kind of person who wants to understand how it works. Like, if you just say do it and it'll work, I'll be like,
yeah,
well, I used to be that kind of person to say that. Bullshit, right? Yeah. And so what do you say to someone like that? No, just do it. Just do it. Just don't try to figure out why. Or do you see that there is a why, like how it works kind of mechanically, if that makes sense, like how a car works?
Absolutely. So it'll work if you just did it without question, of course. But a lot of people learn in a different way. They're called why learners. In other words, unless I explain why to you, you won't move in. You can't move any further. Now, saying that you're a why learner is also a story. And it's also, you've created that identity, and that's the only place that it's true in your agreement with yourself that you're a why learner. Just like a guy who will say, well, I'm very analytical, Brent, and I break things. Okay, right. But, right, okay, yeah, I know that exactly. I know you believe that you are, right? You're whatever you believe you are, and you manifest stuff from that point where you're standing. And I understand that. And you can have all kinds of beliefs about yourself. Okay, so the why is absolutely important behind this. I mean, so I try to always explain to people, and anyone who's explaining stuff to other people should do this, try to explain to people in ways they already understand. So what I will say to most people is, you know, you're already a master at manifesting. You know how to do it. You do it all the time. You do it 24/7. Every thought that's going through your head right now is creating your life right now, and that's the reason that you're living it. The moment you start taking responsibility for that, as tough as it might be, and as much as you don't want to take responsibility for it, the moment you do, you'll start to see things happen. So that's the good news. The good news is this isn't a new skill. You already have the skill. So that should be great news to you. You don't have to go through this big learning curve. All I'm saying is put new information through the machine that you're already built within the skill that you're already an expert at. And that's, you know, to boil it down to its simple thing, you know, I can't because becomes I can because. So it's just about changing the conversation that's causing you to manifest the things that you're manifesting. Okay.
Yeah.
And I guess you have to kind of understand that if that's true, let's say, so all your thoughts are building your life. If your story is controlling your life, then it would make sense that if you change your story, you'd change your life. That's the why, okay? The conversations you have when you wake up in the morning and you hit the snooze button and you don't jump out of bed because you start worrying about the day and stuff and how your life isn't working and you're not grateful for anything. You're just like focused on shit that isn't happening. God, I wish this is what I don't have. Damn it, I got to go to work today and I got to do this. And then the day is negative like that. That's why you're living that life.
Yeah.
So it begins with changing that thinking, changing that conversation. And then that will change everything in your life. And it will also change how people respond to you, how they treat you, the type of people you attract, the type of things you attract in your life. So it's so important to understand that you're already doing it. So that should make this much easier.
So huge. I mean, it's like, you know, we powerfully manifest the negative experience. We fully feel that in the movie, right? Versus the positive. And it seems like it's a totally different system or a different world to be able to get control of your thoughts well, or that you're actually powerfully creating, manifesting your life through thoughts. And you are already, and it's just like, one part of it is just waking up to that, understanding that that's how it works. And then it becomes much easier. And so I love how you explain that about, it's like you've always been riding the bike, man. You just start riding in the way that you really want to.
Right, just ride it in a different direction, right? Right the way, you know, ride it towards what you want.
Yeah.
And you know, we get caught up in thinking that we don't have power over this, right? It's just like when we react to certain things, we'll say, "Well, I couldn't help it," when actually we can't.
Yeah.
You just maybe you're not aware yet. No one has ever told you that you could, you know, you can choose your reaction to everything and choose how you deal with what happens to you. Even though there may be tons of evidence outside of what other people would do, what the normal person in your situation would always do, what you've seen on television, what you've read in books, right? You've got a lot of evidence around you, but it's still a choice. It's still you choosing it. So that is so powerful. And what we tend to do is a couple of things I'll mention here is we tend to avoid believing that we have power because it's much more convenient and comfortable for us to play the victim and pretend that we don't have power and that it's, oh, Brent, you don't understand, it just happens. Right? Like I can't help it. You know, this is what I'm like, right? Like this is how right? That's a story, right? And that continuing that. And what you're really doing is you're avoiding taking responsibility for taking control of your life. And, right, so there's one point. The next point just popping into my head right now is that oftentimes we spend so much time obsessing, thinking, worrying about our problem or problems, challenges, you know, that we spend an exorbitant amount of time dealing with them. And we really don't know what we would do with all that time if suddenly all of them were solved. That's how our minds work. That's how screwed up our minds are, right? And that's how brainwashed we are to think that way, that we're powerless.
Yeah.
And that only these things that we buy and have will somehow magically make us happier and solve the problem, which is not ever true. But, you know, you have to, so that's why it's challenging for people to understand that message and take responsibility and move forward.
I love that, man. I mean, that happened to me on Friday, I think, a little bit. I got all my work done for Monday and Tuesday, and I was like, I had this anxiety. It's like, I could do more, but I didn't have to. I could just chill out and enjoy. Not that I wasn't enjoying doing the work. And so that was like a direct example that totally related. I love it. And you know, whether or not, like, we're always choosing, and that's what I'm also drawing from what you said, like, we are a powerful manifester. So even though we're unconsciously making the choice of, oh, that's just how I am, I couldn't help myself, it's still a freaking choice. And to be, it's still a choice no matter what. And
right.
That is a powerful, powerful thing,
right.
to wake up to. And that it, like, you, once you see that, it starts to go in this whole different direction. I mean, not there's more practice and repetition and stuff.
Well,
but
yeah, you've convinced yourself that you somehow have power by avoidance, and you don't. You are being robbed of all of your power. You are giving it up every second of every day that you are avoiding taking responsibility, right? So if all these, right, all these bills come in the mail and you're afraid to open them, that's not taking, you think you're in control. I'm not opening these, right? But like, if the only time you take the power is to open them, look at them, deal with them, make a phone call, pay it, whatever you got to do, that's when you're in control of your life. It's a, you know, a very simple example, but that's what we do. We do that with everything in our life. Well, I'll just, you know, I'm not gonna deal with that right now. I'm not gonna take responsibility for that because then I am in control. Somehow we've convinced ourselves that that's the case, which is not the case.
Yeah, it becomes we're powerfully avoiding.
Exactly. There we go.
Powerfully control of our life, but we're pretty powerful in avoiding.
Avoidance. I am in control of my irresponsibility. Totally.
Exactly. Awesome, man. So it's such great stuff here. So, you know, and I know I'm curious about your mindset on women too is so different than pick up stuff I had studied way in the past, and a lot of, you know, the chasing and, you know, be the aggressor, be the advancer type of thing. And in a way, I'm like, you know, for guys that are really shy and socially anxious, it's kind of like they're already sort of non-aggressive. So I can see how it would benefit them to not learn to be aggressive and chase women around anyway. You know what I mean?
Right. Except what they usually do is take that advice and then they stand against the wall and go, Brent, I'm thinking these cool thoughts. Where are the women? And they don't apply it in the way I tell them to apply it. But they're like, yeah, I'm totally carefree and indifferent. And I went out and stood alone and said nothing, and no one talked to me. That's not what I'm advocating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what do you see the difference between the thought and the act? Like, is there a difference between thought and action? Like, because, you know, there could be a guy who can get this very quickly and be like, you know, the way I tell my story. And then there's a guy who's telling the story, but then he's not taking action. And is there really a separation there? Because the more that I like remove the separation, the easier it is, I find, is for me. It's just like what I live, and it's the thought and the action are kind of together, if that makes sense. But then you've got the guy that's standing there going, you know, I'm thinking these thoughts and like nothing's happening. Like, what's going on there? What's going on with that?
Good point. I'm glad you brought that up. Because yes, you can't just be so in your head and take the easy way out, which is, even though it might be a challenge to consider what I'm talking about, which is change that conversation with yourself. And, you know, you have this great story that you create around women. Oh, I go out, and every time I go out, the women who I find the most attractive are interested in me. And whether I walk up to them or whether they come up to me, they're excited to hang out with me. And then we talk about X, Y, and Z, and then we trade contact info, and then we get together. Right? You could have that, but unless you're willing to go out in the first place and step into a place like that and take the action, yes, you're just going to be in your head living that. And so you have to separate. So you don't take the easy way out if you consider yourself an introvert. Or someone who has a lot of social anxiety, approach anxiety when it comes to women, and so on. You're going to want to start with the story, clearly, and that's where it starts to change. I'm socially courageous. I love approaching people new people. hot women, whatever it is. I love, and you visualize it, and every time I approach, they're smiling and happy to see me, and so they turn and they do this, that, and the other thing. So you create a whole thing about that, but then you actually have to take the action. So there is that. And so everything's a habit. Just like changing your story and having maybe a new conversation with yourself would be getting into the habit of doing that. You do need to get into the habit of going out, whether it's by yourself or whether it's with some friends, some buddies or whatever. And you do have to practice talking to people. And there's a lot of things you can do to kind of ease yourself into that if you are a guy who is really anxious and has a lot of anxiety. And I understand, just, I'm not trying to minimize it for any of you watching or listening that have true anxiety. I'm just saying that in addition to what you may already be doing to deal with it, the mindset is another really important place or another piece of the puzzle, if you will. And then taking the action and facing your fear and pushing through anyway. So in addition to anything else that you're doing for it, these are really, really powerful concepts, techniques, ideas that you can do along with it. So you were talking a minute ago about guys standing around and so on. And so I just want to be clear, when I am talking to you about the dating thing, the man and woman thing, and the traditional way, yes, I do teach men that they are way too pushy, and I also teach women that they're way too passive. Mm-hmm. So I am for people getting together. I'm not against women or against men. I'm for everybody. But I think that if women were a little bit more like men and men were a little bit more passive like women, that we might be able to get together somewhere in the middle without all this stupid game playing.
Yeah.
And this is my opinion and my experience and journey, having come from the same place that every other guy comes from, which is doing everything the traditional way, being anxious, nervous, trying to gather up the courage to talk to women and get their phone numbers and call them and ask them out and do all those things that everyone's doing. And my journey through that, and then flipping the script and still approaching women, but then giving them my contact info and doing that deal and other stuff that I'm known for. And it's been a multi-decade experiment that I've come through and together. So you do still take action. So yes, we do a combination of kind of hanging out and having fun together. Me and my buddies, we will stand around. We don't constantly searching for targets, running around the room. But we do talk to people in general. We talk to guys, we talk to women, whatever. So we do approach people. You still do that. You just do it in a new, powerful way, in a way where you don't want anything. You don't need anything. And I know for a guy who has no experience or limited experience, that sounds kind of weird. Like, well, but I do want something. I do think I need something. I'm desperate for it, actually, Brent. I need women in my life. I need, to be intimate with women. I need dates. I get it. But going down that road is not going to work long term for you, because I've done it. And I can tell you that the way that I'm asking you to consider, which is a little bit more passive, but you're still in there and you're still participating, but you're not coming from, I'm a desperate, needy, creepy guy like every other guy in here. I'm the cool, fun, kind of charismatic, carefree, indifferent guy who's having a great time. So you're still taking the action, but all that I just described comes from doing that work on yourself when you're not out.
Yeah, I love that, man, because I could hear a guy go, well, yeah, but I've tried that. I just can't take action. They're all emotionally clogged up. But it's kind of dealing with the deeper issues of societally conditioned neediness and agenda, right? And to be around someone like that doesn't have that is like, it's almost like I'm just having this like shining light, golden Buddha party guy going, woo, like this guy feels great because he doesn't want anything from anybody. That's so rare. It's literally like a rare gift.
Yeah. And you know what the other thing is, I'll just throw in here, is a lot of guys are really attached to what a guy looks like, how much money he has, how he dresses. And look, all those are great. And those are wonderful things. And if you've got them, awesome. Most guys don't have that. Okay. So the average guy doesn't have that. So this is good news, because what I'm talking about here and what you and I are discussing is that if you are this carefree, kind of happy-go-lucky guy that's attractive to everyone. And I talk about this and many other things that I do about how if you walk into a room, you know, people are pretty much the same all over the world in any room you walk into, okay? Everybody's got problems, right? Everyone's got childhood problems they haven't dealt with. Most people don't like what they do for a living. Most people are unlucky at love and dating and social life. Most people have social anxiety. That's what everyone suffers from in the whole room. And you think that you're like somehow the only one, right? So, and what do they want? What does everybody in the room want? Everybody in the room wants to be happy, right? They probably want a little more money. They want to have great social life. They want to have a great dating and love life, right? That's what everyone wants. So imagine that there's all these creepy guys lurking around too, okay? All these creepy guys who do exactly the same thing as each other, right? They hit on girls, they're creepy, they try to push and manipulate women, they're trying to ask girls for their phone numbers all night long, trying to get them to come out on dates, they're desperate, they're needy, they think they're being the man, like the alpha male, but they're not. They just think they are, but they're mistaken.
I love that.
Okay? The true alpha male doesn't have to do any of that, okay?
He's the line. Yeah.
The true alpha male is already left with 3 girls and come back 3 times. So, okay, and very little was said. He doesn't have a rap necessarily. Although we do love to talk to people and banter and have fun with them. But kind of extreme example. But my point is that imagine when this guy walks in, this next level guy who's carefree, seems as if he doesn't have a problem in the world, even though he probably has the same deal going on that everybody else does. But he's there not to get anything from all these people who have problems, but to help them escape from the problems he knows they have. Right? So it isn't about, oh, I need sex from that girl and business contact from that guy over there. And it's, hey man, I'm just here to have fun and help everybody have a blast. And I'm gonna help you escape from that life I know you're living. And so I'm totally carefree about it. And there's nothing on my agenda other than that. So I'm not attached to an outcome. I'm just having fun. That guy's attractive. This is my point. That guy, no matter what you look like, is attractive, okay? I've seen that guy over and over. In fact, you know, seeing guys like that was part of what helped me go here and assimilate this into my life. As I was looking at these guys who they weren't good looking guys. They weren't in shape. They weren't wearing nice clothes. They weren't throwing money around. But they were doing very well with women, and the women were, and I was like, what? And they weren't famous. And I'm like, okay. Being a fairly good-looking guy, I was like, what is going on? I'm no interest. And these guys, there's got to be a secret to that. And I want to find out what that secret is, because I think that's super powerful for not only me, but other people. And that's really, I've seen guys, so it is possible. And that's the exciting thing about this, is that you can be any kind of guy. And if you're carefree and you remove your anxiety by removing the things that you're like so desperately needy for and want, they will be handed to you on a silver platter. So that's the ironic thing about wanting to get stuff. And this is what I had to figure out over time, because I used to want to get stuff all the time. I was very attached to it, and I was like laser focused, and if I didn't get what I wanted, I was angry. Okay, just like every other guy. I found out that if I gave up wanting it or needing it or being desperate for it, that I actually got a lot more of what I originally wanted. So I got what I originally wanted. I got a lot more of it, and I had to do less work. And I'm lazy by nature, so perfect for someone like me. I was like, wait a second, you mean I could reverse engineer this thing and I can just go out and have a good time and have a couple cocktails and talk to people, and then women throw themselves at me? That's what I'm talking about. I don't want to do anything. I want them asking for my contact info. I want them hunting me down. I don't want to do anything. I will go up and say, hey, what's up? Let's have a party, blah, blah, blah. But, I'm lazy. I want it done for me. And what I realized, and I'm kind of being funny about it, but what I realized is that women responded to that. They were like, finally, someone who gives me a moment to be interested without pushing. It's amazing how women opened up. And for the first time, were able to, tell me what they wanted. Because what I was used to doing is telling them what, here's what you're going to do. Here's what I want. Here's what we're going to do, right? They didn't have a moment. I didn't give them a moment to speak. It was all about me trying to manipulate and talk them into stuff they already want to do. I found that out later too. But the normal way that guys teach other guys how to do that. This is a much higher level.
Yeah.
Less work. and hotter women. So
yeah. Yeah, I'm learning a ton here because I'm definitely not where you're at, but I've come a long way, sir. Come a long way. and one thing too, and I can, if there's a guy watching this going, yeah, so now it sounds like you're just having fun and that you're, doing that and the women will just throw themselves at you. But from what I've heard of your stuff too, there are some steps in there that you recommend that help almost like continue to open the path for women.
Yeah.
Is that true? Is that true as well?
True. Absolutely. Right now I'm speaking in concepts, right? And it all sounds good, but how do you apply them? What are the techniques and so on? And so, yes, there are definitely techniques regarding all of it. We love to banter with people, women in general, of course. And so you can bring up any topic that you want by bantering with women. So we do a lot of, when we go out, we have a lot of fun. So we will bring up provocative topics based on what I call selective hearing. Okay, we learned a long time ago, it really doesn't matter what a woman says, it just matters what I hear, what I think she said.
Ding,
right?
ding, 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 ding,
ding, ding, ding. So, it's like, hey, what's up, ladies? What's happening? Happy for tonight, right? Like, hey, what's up? Happy Saturday. Oh, happy Saturday. What are you going to do? Did you just ask me to leave with you? Did you? It's just like, throw anything you want in there, guys. We've done it all, but it's like we just throw. So it only matters what I think she said, right? Did you just ask me to leave with you? Look, I just met you. I can't make out with you right now. I'm talking to my buddy, by the way. And then I ignore them and move over here and talk to someone else. Yeah. They've never met anyone like that, okay? But you could say anything. We have, we'll say, did you just ask me to do this? Look, if you want to do this, just come out and say it. You did say that, right? No, I didn't say that. Well, that's what it sounded like because girls say that to me all the time, and that's exactly what it sounds like. Yeah. All right. So, and then we change the subject and we move on. And so it's like little banter things like that. And you can plug anything in there you want. Sexy stuff, things that you would like to bring up, like, dating, going to her place, going to your place, whatever it is that you do, use your imagination and do what you want. And we just throw out there, I can't tell you how many times we just go, yeah, shoot me a text about that. Yeah, shoot me a text, shoot me a text, shoot me a text. That's what it's come down to now. There's no, let me get your number. We haven't done that in so many years. I can't even remember how long it's been. I haven't gotten a phone number in, I don't even know, like maybe 15 years. I mean, we just don't, you don't need to do it.
Wow.
We just go, yeah, look me up on Facebook, whatever. Message me on Facebook or whatever. I'm like, shoot me a text. Well, I don't have your number. Yeah, I know. Oh, what is it? And then they put, right? Like, and then I just move on. I don't do any work.
Like, keep coming.
Right? Like, I'm not going to text her. I'm not going to reach out to her anyway. Like, I don't live that life anymore. Like, so then you do that, and all these girls have your numbers, and then they start using them. Hey, and a girl, here's the thing, guys. If you're a number collector, like I used to be, okay? I was the master number collector. Just so you guys don't think that I just somehow was giving my number out. I got numbers for years. And I mean, like, every time we went out, we have a contest. How many can you get? Like 5, 6, 7, no, it's probably a lot. But we became machines for numbers. And then we would call them all and try to get dates. And, all the same thing that guys are out there doing. Way too much work, very little return, even if you're good, even if you're really good at converting those.
Yeah.
So we were like, damn it, I don't want to do this work anymore. Let's create a way that I can just flip my number out and girls will either call me or not call me, but I don't want to deal with it anymore. And so here's my point. A woman texts you, she's into it. She's interested, right? If you text a woman, she might have given you a number for a number of reasons, to get rid of you, because she gives her number to all guys. Who knows, right? It's a freaking number. It was numbers game. Right? Like it's you never know. So when a girl texts you, it's mostly because she's interested. So now you're ahead of the game already. And then she basically just wants to get together. And that's it. To me, that was very simple. But you have to, and I'll bring it back to what we were talking about earlier, is that you think when you get a girl's contact information that you are in control. You are mistaken. You are mistaken. Yeah. I used to be the control freak. And I can tell you right now that you're mistaken. Because I thought I was in full control. If I've got the number, I run everything. I didn't run a thing. I thought I would, but I was being run. That's the thing. So when I give my information out, I'm actually in control. And I know it sounds counterintuitive, but if you will consider this idea, guys, your life will be so amazing because you will no longer deal with all of that crap that goes around that anymore. There'll be no drama. They'll either text you or they won't. But you're off doing something else already, you know, and this is predicated on you not waiting around for their text, right? Or living your life around whether some girl's going to text you. That's a whole other conversation. But, you know, it's like just give yourself over to it. So we're always just saying, yeah, shoot me a text about that. Oh, yeah, what are you guys doing? What are you guys doing tonight? Oh, we don't know. We're going to do whatever. Oh, yeah, I don't know. We're going to shoot over to this other place, or I don't know. We're going to hang out for a while. I might go to a party. We might drink champagne later. I don't know. Just shoot me a text about it. Right? I'm always saying that. Okay. I just put in like 4 things you could say in there. Yep. But it's, yeah, just shoot me a text. I don't say get out your phone. I don't say shoot me a text a second time. They have one shot. One shot. Remember, guys, you also have to be in control of everything. They have one shot. That's it. There's no second. Yeah. There's no second thing. Okay?
And I love that. I love it. And it's and I can see how some guy could listen, because I'm totally getting what you're saying after many years of struggling as well. And it seems like you're not in control, but you are. It's like this whole other level or world. And to me, it's akin to like you're constantly just throwing your hook out, right? Versus you're jumping in the river, swimming after the fish and trying to grab onto it. It's kind of like getting numbers, right? It's like you get some, but it's a lot more work. It's way less efficient. And just, unless you're really into that, it's not as fun.
Yeah. You know, I meet girls all the time that are just, you know, like become friends, and not girls that, you know, they're just girls that we're talking to in my travels. And it's always the same thing. They've given their number out. A bunch of guys are texting them or whatever they're doing, whatever they're doing. They're doing all kinds of different communication, but always on the phone, right? And they're doing this, stuff. But there's one guy. There's one guy that she's looking for. Wants to know where he's at right now. Can't really hunt him down. You know, Jeremy, he's supposed to be over at this place. Why are you so interested in Jeremy? Because he doesn't return my texts, right? So that's the one, guys. It's not the 15 guys who are trying to be more brilliant and tease her better and be funnier by sending the text one after the next. You are competing at the bottom level, guys, okay? That's Walmart, okay? You're at the bottom fighting for the scraps, okay? You want to remove yourself from all other competition, be the guy that she wants to find. To be the guy she wants to find, you have to not find her, okay? You have to not be, you know, so into doing that. Do what you do, go do your thing, you know? She'll be like, oh, where are you at? Like, she'll be doing what you usually do, which is, right? Yeah. Like, so you have to figure out, what life do you want? It's midnight, 1 in the morning. You're like, where are you at? Or do you want like a couple text messages coming in from super hot girls going, where are you at? That's awesome. Okay, that's what I want. And that's what you should maybe want. I'm not going to tell you what to want, but look, if you, I will ask you to consider having a great life like that. That's low maintenance, doesn't require a lot on your part. Women are texting you. They're asking you to hook up. They're asking you to get together, whatever your deal is, whatever you want. And it's a much easier life. And it's all done by, you know, just little techniques like that. Shoot me a text about that thing. Oh, yeah, where are you going? Oh, yeah, you know what? I can't really, you know what? We're going to move on. We're going to this other place. Just shoot me a text if you want to know what's up. It's just like that, guys. It's just like that, right? We walk by girls who are on their phones and we'll go, are you texting me? Sometimes it starts like that. Simple, guys. Are you texting me? What do you mean I don't have your number? 6646, right? Like, bam. Yeah. Guys, there's so many ways to do that where you can just give your number out, give your contact info out, and you don't have to do anything after that. Except choose.
Yeah, that's great, man. That's pure gold. I love that. And I noticed too that there is the banter part too, because you could banter and not banter, hey, are you hitting on me, and not put anything sexual in there. Yeah. Then it won't go. So you have to drop that in, but it's just very like easy conversational, dropping the hooks out there, just like whatever. And with no, you know, I'm going to go drop hooks because I like dropping hooks out there in the water. If I don't get a fish, who gives a crap? I know eventually I'll get a fish. And
we don't overstay our welcome either. We don't like fish in the same hole all the time. Okay. Like, you know, fishing, you can put your pole in the water and you sit there and you wait. We don't do that. So what we do is we have a bunch of different poles, different places. And so, right, we plant the seeds. We talk to girls and then we turn away from them and talk to each other or talk to different girls. And then maybe a little more re-engaging. But we don't spend a lot of time with any one girl or any group of girls.
Yeah.
Now, which gives you the opportunity to re-engage them 20 minutes later, or at the next place you randomly run into them. So much more powerful, guys, and such a better way to live your life. Remember, from experience, because I used to do it the other way. I'd stay for, oh man, I'm working this group. This is great. I'm about to stay for like an hour until they dismiss me. Now I just dismissed myself and found out how more powerful that is. Yeah. Hey, it was nice talking to you. I guess we'll probably, maybe we'll see you around later on the blah, blah, blah. You know, turn and talk to someone else. Or just turn and talk to someone else. You're talking to people. Yeah, yeah. Oh, hey, what's up? And you talk, you know, you're a man about town. You know, your people are interested in talking to you. It makes you very mysterious, elusive, intriguing, and attractive.
Yeah. It's awesome. And I can hear some guys or some people going, yeah, that sounds like you're, you know, treating women a certain way and you're like just, you know, doing whatever you want and not, or you're being too uncaring about it, right? Which is not really what you're saying.
No, not at all. I'm really being how women want me to be.
Yeah.
Which is they don't want me to be the creepy, over pursuing guy who forces them into shit.
Yeah.
And tries to manipulate them. They want me to be carefree. So yeah, let me be clear about this. When I'm talking to women, I'm interested in what they have to say, and I'm present and I'm there. And when I'm telling jokes or I'm bantering, it's all in fun and they know it.
Yeah.
There's no animosity coming from it. I'm not arrogant. I love women, right? So there's none of there's no negativity in what I'm saying, guys. And also, women like that. So yeah. I'm not being mean to girls and rude to them. That's not what I'm doing. If you ask any of them, they'll tell you that's not what he's doing. I'm talking to them, and then I'm just being social, but I'm not being rude. And I'm approachable, and they know it. So it's not like they can't come over and talk to me again. So I'm totally, you know, present and into it, and it's a good experience for the women. I don't want it to be a bad experience to the women. I don't want to have one up on them. That's not what this is about, guys. It's not about us against them. It's not about manipulation. It's not about like somehow we are above them. Now, sometimes I will allude to that to build your self-esteem, but that's really all it is. But really, you know, it's allowing women to fully participate in the way that they would love to participate if they met the right guy who will allow them to participate that way. They don't meet that guy. They meet the other guy, the traditional guy we've been talking about and who I used to be, which is why you will only have a small amount of success. You will have success, definitely, because you can do anything and get success. But if you want truly high-level success, consistent success, and something where everyone's excited for your success, this is a new thing to consider.
Yeah, that's great. And what's also hitting me is the vibe, and it's something I talk a lot about is vibe, because it goes beyond the words. Because you could say the exact same words, you know, and come in and like, you trying to text me? You trying to text me? Whatever. Like, and come off with this kind of dick negative vibe, and they're going to be like, ew.
Yeah.
And then you can when you're in good vibe, you can say whatever, right? You can say whatever.
Yeah.
We'll just eat it up, and and they're hitting you and they're grabbing you, whatever. And that's the part where I was laughing hysterically when you said that, because your vibe is so good and carefree and fun. And I knew you're, you know, but there are some guys out there that are going to listen to that and go, okay, got to say exactly what he says, or be like, how can he say that? It doesn't sound right, but because they don't have consciousness of this whole vibe thing, and that you have to like yourself for this to really be effective, right? The first thing you said, your relationship with yourself is the most important. Yeah,
I mean, look, I could write books about just techniques, which I know guys would love, right? Yeah. Oh, just give me the technique, Brent.
Right, and go nowhere.
I'd probably be a lot more successful at it, actually. But you know what? But guys, I'm in it for you. I really do want to impart my knowledge to you. Or else I would just write books about techniques as far as what you say and how you stand. And that's very important, absolutely. So I do understand how important that is. But please do not overlook the inner game, if you want to call it, okay? The stuff I'm asking you to consider doing at home, changing your story, having a good relationship with yourself, it will make all the difference. And so all these things that you hear me say, little techniques, they will go so much better when you're coming from a place where you like yourself and you have this great vibe and you've already visualized women being happy to see you and welcoming you with open arms and being attracted to you, right? And instead of, oh man, I hope that, you know, that rejection that happened last time, I hope it doesn't happen this time, right? That's the image you got in your head. That's why that's happening, right? If your whole image is, no, women love talking to me, and they love when I approach them, and they love to approach me. And either way, whichever one happens, the result is always the same. They want to get together. They want to hook up. They want to do this. They want to do that. Guys come over me and offer me money and want me to work for them and give me business opportunities. And people just love my guy. So that's what you have to project. And you have to have that conversation with yourself rather than all the negativity. And then every little thing that you hear me talk about will work much better.
Love it, man. So awesome. Just so blown away. Love what you're sharing here. And I've heard you say it before, but even in, you get new little nuances of it, and so amazing. And I love the work you're doing in the world. And so I think we probably got to wrap it up here. We've gone on a good bit. Not that I want to continue the conversation, but it's time to go. So where can they, where can guys find you, your stuff? Talk about
it. So if you want to find the dating stuff, guys, you want to find the dating stuff, it's at attracthotterwomen.com. There's actually a free report there you can download. You can check it out, try some of this stuff. My ebook is also there, lots of other programs and so on. So you start there for the dating stuff. If you want to watch some more of my videos regarding dating, you can also look me up on YouTube under Attract Hotter Women. If you like some of the self-development stuff that I talk about and purely want to listen to that, all those videos are also on YouTube, and that's Brent Smith TV. So all you have to do is just type it in, you'll see it. I'm all over YouTube. And start there, dip your toe into the water, see what happens, and then, you can always reach out for more information.
Yeah, that's great, man. Thanks so much. I'll make sure to put the links here and below the video, so it's all easy for people to go straight to you.
Great. Well, thanks for having me. It was a great conversation.
Yeah, man. So grateful. And thanks again. And until next time, we are complete. See you guys. Hey, if you like this video and want more tips and strategies on how to overcome your shyness, social anxiety, self-doubt, and really build the confidence in your social skills, conversational skills as much as you can, up to the best you can be, so you can have the career success, the social circles and friends, the dating life that you want, all that and more, subscribe to the Social Expression channel by clicking on the subscribe button, and check out the other videos here that are on offer. This channel is all about helping you be the best guy that you can, like I've done for myself, and I really want you guys to succeed. So keep watching.